A summer's night in Virginia. The numb tingle of cocaine slithers down the back of my throat. The dank taste of cheap beer lingers on my tongue. Beside me, my girlfriend Nikki sits laughing at a crude joke told by our host Boo Boo, who's also laughing at his own crude joke. Nearby, my friend David nods his head to the rap music vibrating out of the speakers. His girlfriend Crystal looks on, unamused. A pretty blonde girl, Marilyn, tries to make herself the center of attention. It's working. Two other guys came with her, one a casual friend of Boo's, the other unknown to all of us. The unknown strikes me as shady, but I tell myself, stop judging people. So I hardly notice him go outside to make a call. My attention is on David now as he cuts out more lines of coke. My girlfriend notices also. Our eyes meet and we smile at each other. Time passes, the stranger returns. No one.
Alright, so I woke up in the morning with a note on my chest and my nephew sleeping next to me. I read the note and said, "Good morning, son. Me and your dad went to go do some errands and your sister went to work." So I'm like, damn. And I look back at my nephew, he was awake, smiling at me. So I'm like, damn, little brother, I gotta watch to see your grandparents come home. He just started laughing. So I'm like, come on. So me and him got up. Me and got up, brushed our teeth, went to go put our clothes on. I'm like, you ready? He like, yeah. So when we was making our way downstairs, he started running around upstairs. So I'm like, damn, I gotta chase him. So I started chasing him, going crazy. I'm like, man, like slow down, bro. You messing up the place. And I finally grabbed him. And I looked at him like, bro, like, you gotta calm down, bro. He just started laughing at me. So we making our way downstairs. Like, he must have wiggled off my hands and broke back upstairs. So I'm like, monster, monster. And he started breaking back downstairs. I'm like, ah. So we made our way to the living room and I put on some cartoons for him. Then I walked to the kitchen. I looked, and I'm like, I got scared. I'm like, damn, like, my grandma's sitting in the kitchen drinking tea. She started laughing at me like, good morning, son. I'm like, good morning, grandma. I gave her a hug and I gave her a kiss. I'm like, baby Ski, you hungry? He like, yeah, uncle, I eat. I'm like, all right. So I start making the food. 5 minutes later, the food ready. So I'm like, baby Ski, like, your food ready. He don't say nothing. I'm like, baby Ski, your food ready. He still don't say nothing. So I walk to the living room. I'm like, baby Ski. He just look at me and start smiling at me. I'm like you hungry? He nodded and said, yes. I'm like, come get your food. He said, no. I'm like you hungry, right? I'm like, come get your food. I'm like, nah. So I'm like, come here. So he looked at me and he started walking backwards with his hand behind his back, laughing at me I'm like, bro, what you doing, bro? He just shaking his head. I'm like, come here. He like, no. So I walk up to him and I pick him up. And I'm looking at him in my head. I'm like, damn, I think he used the bathroom on himself. So I asked him anyway, like baby Ski, like you poo-poo or you pee-pee? He laughing like, uncle, I poo-poo. So I'm like, damn, like damn. So I laid him on the floor. And the first thing I do is get on the phone to call my twin sister. So I get on the phone like, I'm like, hello? She's like, hello. I'm like, twin, where you at? She like, why? I'm like, man, like my nephew used the bathroom. I'm like, man, can you come home and change him? She like, what? She started laughing. She's like, no. And she hung up. I'm like, hello? Hello? I'm like, damn. So I'm looking at my nephew. I'm like, damn. So I told myself, like, you got this. So I took a deep breath. You got this, bro. You got this. So I started changing his diaper. Then I'm struggling. I'm like, damn, baby Ski, like, what your grandparents been feeding you? He just laughing. So I'm in the process of changing his diaper and stuff. I'm like, damn. Grandma. So my grandma come breaking in the living room. So she like, what? I'm like, man, can you help me change my nephew? She said, boy, you change him. So I'm like, man, all right. So I started changing him again. My grandma seen me struggling. She like, boy, watch out. So she ended up helping me change his diaper. And we finally got done. 2 hours passed by. My parents came in. And I walked to him like, thank God, I'm happy y'all home. Like, me, I gotta grab your grandson. Like, I ain't watching him no more. Like, man, he hella dirty. Like, he just, you feel him, just talking hella mess. So my mom like, boy, be quiet. Like, what you do? So I go upstairs. And my mom started changing his diaper again. And I guess I didn't change his diaper right. She gonna ask him like, who changed your diaper? He gonna point at me and say, my uncle did it. Yeah.
A great humble man stood up on altars, beaten and ridiculed, but his faith never faltered. His joy came from God, whom resides in his core. And even though he was drugged on the ground, he loved even more. He preached about peace for all men the same. Wrote anthems about dreams. I have a dream. I honor his name. A profound martyr in this day and age. Though perished for years, his vision remains. Embedded deep within a generation for us. Redefining a true meaning, in God we trust. Encouraging the angels to sing a glorious praise. While the caged bird is free to soar up and away. Once a dream deferred through a quiet standstill, I bend at the knee, unashamed to kneel. I lie awake into a fateful dream, the leader inside me wholehearted supreme. Remaining that father who prays for his child, every so often taking a bow.
Every time I speak about her, I turn into a little baby. My daughter's name is Shayla. She's 13 years old right now, and I pick her up on weekends.
有一次我接起佢，我哋就去金門公園撐船，
One time,
買咗啲零食。
I picked her up and we went to the
租咗架
paddle
船撐
boats in Golden Gate Park.
佢試撐，不過佢腳仲未長，夠
We
長
bought some snacks, rented a boat,
但係佢想撐
and went
快
out
啲。
together. She tried to row, but her feet aren't long enough yet.
我哋撐咗1個鐘。
She wanted to go faster though.
硬玩
We rowed for about an hour,
之後就去咗一
and she
間
played with the
餐
ducks.
館食
Afterwards, we went to eat at Turtle
我哋
Tower,
到7點
a
鐘
noodle
就要
restaurant.
帶佢返屋企。
We spent time together until
但係
about
我
7
返到
o'clock
屋
that
企，佢
evening
打電話俾我
when I dropped her
一路
off.
傾一度喊，
Later on,
話
after I came home,
想同我一
she
齊
called me and was
想瞓覺
crying. She wanted to be with me and didn't want to sleep.
話俾我聽。
She
佢
said
想
that she
同我
missed
一
me
齊
and
喺
kept
度喊
crying
想我
and
過
wanted to
去
come over.
我想佢瞓覺。
I said I'd pick her up the next day and tried to get her to go to sleep. We talked for a little while longer, and she told me she didn't want to
我哋
sleep
傾多一陣
because she was
佢話俾
afraid
我
of
聽
forgetting the day.
佢唔想瞓覺，因為佢唔想唔記得今日過嘅時間。
I saw her last Sunday, and we talked about her school,
我哋傾佢返
her
學
friends,
佢啲朋
and
友
when she would get her report card. I asked her to send it to me when she gets it.
出到去，我想帶佢去迪士尼樂園。
I'm going to take her to Disneyland as soon as I can.
I just sit back and recline. I just sit back and recline. I just sit back and recline. Diamonds in the wrist watch, reach 9:15. I just sit back and recline. I just sit back and recline. I just sit back and recline. Diamonds in the wrist watch, reach 9:15. I just sit back and recline. I just sit back and recline like. I just sit back, recline, diamonds in the wrist, watch reach 9:15. Saks Fifth Ave, blowing money fast. Call me Young Kenny G's and throw the cash in the bag. I'm talking cash in the bag, and I splash on racks. My pockets on math. Look, had it up. Louis V's and fly, triple goose down, pair of stitches on the inside. Belt buckle city, a pair still on the hillside. Dark denim Tim's, rubber tops in the S5. All hundreds, 6 if I'm gunning. Wood grain petals, rose gold, all or nothing. 5% copper with the platinum if you bluffing. I'm in the oven with the all gram crust. Blueberry stuffing, diamonds on the cuff. Pillsbury Doughboy, marshmallow puff. Stuffed it to the cheesecake, 100 round cuts. Mean this kid been eating with the scale on crust. Mean this kid been eating triple beam on a plus like. I just sit back and recline like. I just sit back and recline like. I just sit back and recline, diamonds in my wrist, watch reach 9:15. I just sit back and recline. I just sit back and recline like. I just sit back and recline, diamonds in my wrist, watch reach 9:15.
Block cheese, powdered eggs, and that fried spam. Wow. And that juice in a can with that metallic taste. Ugh. It was 7 of us at the table. We hated this food, but we had to eat it. Now, boys, now when y'all finish y'all breakfast now, y'all go in there and get dressed, because we got to get down to that damn welfare office and get in that line. excuse me. Excuse me. My apologies. I'm trying to get to the front. Excuse me. Oh, I'm just trying to get to the front of this line so I can get the best of this bad food. Don't trip. Man, I was on welfare then, experiencing those struggles and heartaches, so my kids don't have to now. It's so hard to say goodbye to welfare.
I was nervous. I had thoughts in my head. Would she cry? Would she remember me? Would she remember my scent? Then they brought you into the room. The lady handed you to me, and I held you in my arms, talking for the entire visit. You were 2 months old, Jernay. My mom came up with your name. Your initials are the same as mine, JDJ. You were born 12/23/2012. I wish I was there when you were born, but I wasn't here. Visit 24 or 25. I walked into the room. You were playing. I called your name and asked if I could play with you, and we did. I followed your lead, making sounds, teaching you songs. We laughed and you smiled. The last visit you spoke. You said words, and your first words to me was, Daddy. You read a book, Dora the Explorer. We read and you knew the animals that was in the book. And you spoke out saying, monkey, car, lion. I was shocked. Then I said, you miss Dada? Yeah, I miss Dada. I love you, baby. I love you too, Daddy. Then a few days later, this poem arrived in the mail, and it goes like this. Walk alongside me, Daddy, and hold my little hand. I have so many things to learn that I don't yet understand. Teach me things to keep me safe from dangers every day. Show me how to do my best at home, at school, at play. Every child needs a gentle hand to guide them as they grow. So walk alongside me, Daddy. We have a long way to go. Even though Daddy can't be beside you today, someday I will be with you, and I promise to never leave you again.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
When the bell rang, squares went to class, and I joined the cool cats smoking weed and cutting school. Shortly after, I started to hustle to keep up, and school no longer really mattered. I became a small-time drug dealer instead of a high school student, which I thought was cool up until I went to jail. Jail was the first stop, then came prison. In the middle of going back and forth, streets, jail, streets, jail, I had begun to lose myself, and most of all, focus on what mattered in life, up until almost losing my life behind those same events. Getting a second chance to refocus and reclaim my life has been my motivation. My first accomplishment was my diploma, and having the opportunity to walk the stage and graduate was so empowering that I even cried. Coming back 20 years later to complete that was rough. So now that the door of opportunity has opened for me, I plan on taking advantage of any and all opportunities that come my way while I can.
Where I grew up at a young age, I was taught to be bad, to fight everyone in my neighborhood, and how to use a gun. I'm 5 years old. I wake up at my grandma's house with my big brother. We get dressed and go outside to 25th. It's my son's birthday, so I walk to the jumper where the kids are playing. My brother go talk to the homies. I ask, can I get in? The mom tell me no, I can't because I'm too bad. I get mad and walk off to the next building where I know there's a gun inside a paper bag where the PG&E box is, and I grab it. Now I'm walking back to the jumper, past my brother and the homies up. Then I point the gun and shoot it one time. Everybody look and see me with the gun in my hand. My brother and the homies surround me to grab the gun. He grab it and give it to one of the homies and take me in the house. Where I grew up at a young age, I was taught to be bad, to fight everyone in my neighborhood, and how to use a gun.
My motivation through life struggles. As a kid, my mother raised me to be a loving, respectful, successful leader. But at the age 10, cancer took away the pretty smile that I woke up and went to bed to daily. Family love got me through the internal pain that I still feel today. Motivation through my life struggles. Memory of the day my son Jaden was brought into this world. The first sight of his eyes opening, smiling as I'm admiring our genetic features we share. Holding him in my arms brought tears of joy. Worried about the tough days that life brings. But in order to walk through it all, gotta crawl to stand tall. The voice of my own creation has been my standing motivation. My motivation through life struggles. The time I've wasted being incarcerated. My life is put on hold while my family moves on. Being my lady's better half and my kids' shining armor. Pressure of them being alone is the weight on my shoulders. Praying that the day comes soon that this nightmare is over. Thankful of the strength God installed to get me through my trials and tribulations. Insight and truth is my motivation. My motivation through life struggles.
It was a long-neck, fretless, purple Yamaha. My dad got it in some kind of deal he made with my uncle. My bass was kept in my father's home studio in our backyard. Everyone said that I was a natural due to how easy I could play it. I think they thought it was hard to play. And I became proud. The bass was hella easy, and I was good at it. A few months down the line, I noticed my uncle hurrying through the yard with the bass in his hands. He was not going to bring it back. I told my mother what I saw, and she told me never to let him on our property again. I got the feeling she didn't like him very much. As time goes by, I get a new one, a better one. A long neck black pearl Fender Precision Elite. One day, I'm showing off to my cousin, and he says, my dad has a bass, a fretless one, that sits in the closet that I mess with from time to time. Boom. My heart sank. I knew it was my bass. It had been sitting in the closet collecting dust. I felt he just didn't want me to have it. Fast forward 10 years. There's a knock on the door. I see my uncle, and he's too drunk to drive home. Too bad. You can't stay here. You didn't care. Why should I? Plus, Mom said no. I tell him he cannot stay here. Sorry. Then I see the look in his eyes, like his heart just sank. I tell him, make sure you lock the door when you leave.
This is the story how I embraced Islam. I sometimes think that our lives is a mixture of scenes on a story. My life, the part that I will share with you, started when I went to jail in the year 2011. It was traumatic. I suffered permanent injuries. I woke up in a strange place where people wear uniforms like angels. I thought later, and I realized it was just nurses in a hospital. I had no idea where I was or why I am there. I had no idea what was happening. My memories was in segments. I was being asked questions. I was being poked, pinched, prodded, and blinded by flashlights. Later on, after I woke up from the coma they said I was in, I was picked up and sent to San Francisco jail infirmary. I do not know why I am being treated like this. Did the good and positive part of me leak out before they patched the bullet holes in me? I do not want to be like this person with a broken interior and a scarred exterior. My memory was affected to the point I could not recognize the woman who gave birth to me. She needed to tell me she is my mom before I connected the dots. I was told by the doctor I had to recover my memories and bodily functions before my brain tissues heals completely, or I may not get them back again. This was the most demeaning and embarrassing moment of my life. Against all odds, I did my best to recover what I lost. I followed all the therapy I was given. Though my chronic headaches remained, I have to take painkillers for life. My anger and hate still bubbles from me. I wish and try to isolate to get away from people, but being in jail, I failed. I blamed everyone but myself. Somebody told me to try religion, but I refused due to my bad experiences from my former faith. I only stayed with the Christian faith to please my family. Due to my anger and America's Islamophobia, I picked up a Quran, which I thought at the time was a terrorist manual. Expecting hate and terrorism because of the media and the United States war on terror, I was surprised when the truth hit me between the eye to find love, wisdom, and enlightenment. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna. Now that I am a real Muslim, I need to change the way I live. I have to give up my favorite food, which was a pig. I have to practice this very sincerely. When I am able, I need to go to pilgrimage located in Mecca in Saudi Arabia. My life since my conversion has been good. I had no idea the Quran would change my life for good. I know that someday I will go home. It is only a matter of time. I will be home in no time. All Muslim strives to emulate what the Prophet did in his faith. In our prayers and when we gather, we remember Allah and His Messenger. I have only told a handful of my loved ones of my conversion, but I pray for my families and friends in their lifetime to accept Islam as their version. We cannot compel or force Islam on anyone. Only Allah has the power to get it done. I thank and praise Him often every day for not letting me go astray. My story is not yet over. I am enjoying my journey more than ever. I'm still a young Muslim. I want to be one forever.
2012, I wake up, thank God for the day. like I school my mind in my basketball plays. Get up, take a shower, get dressed, kiss my grams on the cheek, and thank her for my breakfast. I check the bus schedule at a 43 Masonic, grab my backpack, iPod, Beats, and b-ball bag. 7:30 sharp, I'm out the door. Get to school, say what's up to the security guard, Pancho. It's a bright sunny day, I'm feeling good, everything going smooth. I get to first period, acknowledge my English teacher with a head nod and a smile. I love my teacher, Mr. Wilcox, because he always teaches me knowledge I can use in the real world. I get out my homework from yesterday and jot down an agenda for the day. Everything was going good senior year until eventually it started to go bad. Before you know it, I started to get ahead of myself. I started going to parties, getting lazy and cocky. I had a lot going on, being that it was senior year, and I started falling behind. Stress getting the best of me, and I ran into an old friend and told him what I was going through. He told me I should take a hit of some kush weed, and it would relieve my stress. Next thing you know, weed is in my mind heavy. It definitely took away all my problems, for the moment, temporary relief. I'm drifting far away from my goals. Everything falling apart, little by little. My sports commissioner told me he got news for me. Told me I couldn't play sports my last year. I was devastated, sick to my stomach. Sports is my motivation, my everything. So I had to go to my next love, which became drugs, weed, and eventually drink. One Friday afternoon, I'm riding with my girlfriend, best friend, on Highway 101, going about 90 in my Via Camaro, crossfaded. They told me to slow down, staked me before I switched lanes. I said I does this. Next thing you know, I'm swerving, trying to keep control. Friends yelling. Playing ball. Having a good job. Good health. Good education. A beautiful family.
Could it be a figment of my imagination to own a home, raise a family, and be financially stable? Travel the world, explore nature, abolish racism, poverty, crime, and incarceration, uplift nations, follow the path of the Creator, become a giver as opposed to a perpetrator? Could it be a figment of my imagination? Can it be realization? I have chased the American dream. My interpretation of what I saw isn't always what it appeared to be. The mindset to achieve desired things weren't always conducive to my well-being. Could it be a figment of my imagination? Am I being sifted through trials and tribulations? Liquor stores on every other corner. The war on drugs, low income, and remnants of foreclosure. I see poverty hustle cans and bottles. Single moms stretch a dollar. A lack of accessible jobs, housing, and education. Voting restrictions, the war on public services. Aspiring young men and women lost of innocence, a community shockingly different in the eyes of affluent critics. I see inequity, simplicity, and greed tearing at the fabric of society. Young, innocent, naive. I would play tag, hide, and go seek, influenced by prosperity. I never thought I would see the penitentiary, a bloated system that preaches rehabilitation, the land of liberty, world leader in incarceration. Predominantly inner city faces. California, in the past 30 years, 21 new prisons and 1 college campus. A broken system running rampant, uncontested from the silence of the masses. Could it be a figment of my imagination? Am I being sifted through trials and tribulations? Am I being fine-tuned for contribution to support the solution? In the words of a wise man, not only free the prisoner, free the jailer, break the stereotypes and mental measurements. Society's fate depends on a collective effort. Society depends on everyone coming together.
I am here.
I am here.
I am here now.
I am here now.
Creatively.
Creativity.
Restoring humanity.
Restoring humanity.
I am here.
I am here.
I am here now.
I am here now.
Creatively.
Creativity.
Restoring humanity.
Restoring humanity.
I